God. Some people really wanna come and just gotta control. Listen. If him fipa menso ya chila, ukwa kuyata ukwishibe. Oh, yeah. Oh. Abalwani bale kukonka, ukuti bakona ule. Umwenso wa kuikata, kwa tita paliokolea. Dole shokolea, wilole shakunuma. Awe, pantu fianze fila poa, fete pishani le fier. Awe, ukeminina, pantu fianze fila poa, utekanye fier. Awe, ukeminina. Somebody listen. Oh, 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 oh. Listen. Impili shikatoboloka, amenzo yake menina, ukapita pauta. Chine pantule sata sente kwa, ena wafila yo, edio tabepa yo. Awe. Fianse fila poa, tete fishani le fie. Awe, ukeminina, pantu fianse fila poa, utekanye fie. Awe, ukeminina. Chushi bukapita, ama chushi ya kapita, ubulwele bukapola, yeah, yeah, oh, oh, oh. Somebody gotta listen, oh, fiancé fila poa, leti fishani le fie, awe, ukeminina, panju fiancé fila poa. Somebody, I hope you get him blessed by that.
Awesome stuff, man. Put it here, put it. That was great, man.
Thanks
awesome.
a lot.
Thank you to Paul, also great
guitarist, of course.
Yeah. How you doing, Starn?
I'm good.
Yeah.
Formerly Starn.
Formerly Starn.
Yeah.
What are you calling yourself now?
Malachi Ngandu. Malachi.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
Before we get to that stage where we find.
Oh, you want me to be Starn?
Before we get back to that stage where you're now, Malachi.
Yeah.
Let's backtrack to the Philapwa stage.
Yes.
This is the time, you were coming up, and obviously with the Lyricist, was you, Lyricist, Mel B.
Oh, yeah.
Probably at the same time.
Yeah.
Take us back to then.
Back then. I think it was quite interesting because, I had been in the industry before Mel B and Lyricist were, because I think I started like 2004-05. That's the time I started recording, and then in 2008, I remember we kind of, I think 2008 or 07, we got together with a Lyricist and we shared the same passion. We wanted to see youths on fire for God. And I had this R&B movement and he had this hip-hop movement. So we said, why can't we just merge and do something? And when the Lyricist had a hit song, I think it was called Never Let You Go, we felt that was a platform for us to take the gospel out there. And though some people may not acknowledge it, we inspired a lot of young people that are, even right now, some of them are very renowned gospel artists. They were really inspired by the movement. So we called it Hong, that is Hope of a New Generation. That was the Lyricist there. So it was a movement.
Okay. I love the fact that they're talking about issues of pioneering, because that's what we're called to do as children of God. Now, backtrack again on the scene. You came back, and now you were born and bred presenter. I know some folks in the Christian world also
they had a problem
we're not a fan of that.
That's very true. I think my whole life has been like that. I'm always like the first one to do something and then get critiqued for that. And then somebody else comes and does the same thing and then they are praised for it.
Okay.
So like I was the first gospel artist to be on a show like Born and Bred, and I was criticized by so many people, but I want to say thanks to Bishop George Mbulo. He told me, son, go ahead and do it. You have my backing, just go ahead and do it. And I did it because I wasn't sinning by doing the show. Now this time I watch and I see gospel artists coming on the show. It's quite interesting. So I think gospel music and gospel industry as a whole is just growing.
Okay, so looking back, would you make the same decision? Would you still present on a secular show?
On a secular show, I think it would depend. If, what the show
if the
is
offer
promoting.
came right now to say, Starn, we want you to do Born and Bred, would you do it?
Born and Bred, definitely I would do it.
So no regrets whatsoever?
No regrets whatsoever.
Okay, because the time you're presenting it is the same period that you switched to what some people call secular music.
Yes.
And I actually saw a comment on one of your posts where someone was saying it's because you went to do a secular show that it became easy for you to do secular music. Is that true?
It's not true, and you know it'll be a shock to you that in all honest, I'm a man of God, I can't lie. It was never intentional for me to even go secular.
What happened?
What happened was, I don't know if you remember Dreams. There was a show I think called Dreams, something like that. I was invited to perform at that event, and it was at some club LIV back then. So it's not like I went to perform in a club. I went to perform at that event. So I was invited as a guest artist, and I was performing there. So I posted on my wall as a normal thing. I was thinking, no, I'm just updating my fans. I'll be performing at LIV. And I only realized when there were like almost more than 1,000 comments. Because I was
and
off
most of
social
them were
media,
backlash. I think I remember some of the comments from.
So somebody, when I was right there at the event, somebody came and said, Starn, do you know what's happening? Do you know that you're trending? I'm like, trending where? I don't know. So he came and then showed me that. I felt like, I don't know. I felt betrayed by my Christian community because I felt like you're one of the few people that really stood with me during that time. Ebo Chungo also being one of the strong people that really stood with me during that difficult moment. And it was a shock to me. And people said a whole lot of things, and I had also wrong people that advised me, said, you know what, these people are already thinking this. Months later, that's when I just said, okay, let me go with the flow. But it was never really that's what I wanted to do initially. No. It was blown out of proportion because I had done a song with Zone Farm. And that song, if you listen to it, I was singing scripture. It was a love song, but I was quoting all scriptures.
So at that
Proverbs
point,
31,
at that point, were you a secular artist?
Yeah.
Why did you switch from secular to gospel?
It's something like
I'm asking this question for your fans that have been following, so that we understand what's really been happening with Starn and what is happening now. Did you switch from gospel to secular?
Yes, I switched from gospel.
Why did you do that?
Well, I did it because I think it was, at that particular time, I felt it was the right thing to do. That's what I felt. I felt it was the right thing to do. And to be very honest with you, when I went into secular, I think that's when I really saw my talent being appreciated. That's when I really saw my talent taking me nations, which didn't happen in church. So I felt like it's working out. And that's when I went with that one. And honestly speaking, it's because I thought it was the right thing to do at that particular time.
Okay.
That's why I did it.
Okay. So you switched back again.
Yeah.
You switched back to gospel. I want to know what happened that day when you decided, you know what, let me leave this secular music that I'm doing and get back to church music. Because you had tested the world and said, this is taking me places according to your word.
Places, yeah, definitely.
Why did you switch back?
Initially, I didn't switch back to gospel music. I think what I did was God called me into full-time ministry. That's what led to me actually retiring from music. So as you can tell, I've been off music from like 2014. This is 2017. I haven't done anything. And this is when I just did like 2 songs, which are just singles. So there was that moment when I had to let go of the music and focus on the ministry and on myself, and really get to know the word, because I feel there are a lot of preachers that know what God can do and they don't know who God is. You know, those are two different things. So I felt I needed to know the God that I represent. If I'm going to be God's representative here, I might as well know who that God is. So I took off from music and went to, you know, dig deeper about who God is and all that. And then people, I didn't realize I had such a huge fan base, honestly. But then people kept flooding my inboxes on Facebook, on Twitter or whatever, telling me, when are you doing something? Or at least if it's a song. And first year I was avoiding, second year I was avoiding. This year I thought, I know, let me do something. And I did something and people really loved it.
So what you've done now is gospel, right?
Definitely.
It's gospel.
It's gospel.
Okay. Do you regret switching to secular music?
Not at all. Not at all. Okay. Why I don't? It's because being a secular artist taught me, sorry to say, how the secular industry, though they complain themselves, but they are more united than us gospel artists.
So you learned something?
I learned something.
So if there's somebody watching this show, they are gospel, and at times they feel like switching to secular, are you telling me you would advise them to do that?
No. That's why I had to go through it. It's not like Hosea, since he married a prostitute, then every prophet needs to marry a prostitute. No, he went through that so that we might not go through it.
So what's your advice to that youth
out there
who's doing gospel, who's doing gospel, and you know, because it's a spiritual thing, the enemy is also fighting you, frustrating you, and oftentimes they feel like giving up. It could be just in anything, not just music. What's your word? Because according to your words, at some point you felt like giving.
Definitely, I felt like giving up.
What's your word to that youth?
My word to everybody that is doing gospel, if you're already doing gospel, first of all, you must have known why you got into gospel music. And second of all, you need to realize that it's a ministry. And anything that is a ministry, the enemy will attack that ministry. It has to be, you know, fire will come to test. So when that happens, you need to be resilient and you need to be strong and really know what you're standing for. My word to such a person is that hold on and know the right way to do it. Because there are so many people that I've seen that are very talented, but they don't know the right way to do it. So it's very, Proverbs says, you know, it's up to a man to find the right way to do it. Then when you find that way, God will prosper it. So if you're a gospel artist, you need to find the right way to do it. You need to have good relations with men of God, so they can have you in their churches, and be based in a church where you can be groomed. Submit to somebody. You know, you don't need to be a gospel artist that is a celebrity of some sort, where you are waiting for worship to finish, then they just call you, come and do a song. You do a song and then you leave the church. I don't think men of God appreciate that. You need to be rooted in the church and be mentored by a man of God.
Okay. I have a lot of questions.
Please.
But I'm happy that you've answered most of them.
Yes.
Unless you've got a question, Paul.
The question was for you.
It is for me? Okay.
Have you ever been tempted to do secular?
To do secular? I'll be very honest with you. I have a lot of temptations, but that has just not been one of them. But there are a lot of temptations. You know what? Let's go for a song, because Paul is obviously going to grill me. This one is dedicated to you, Paul. Okay. It's done by Soba. Okay. You know the artist Soba? It's called Kamsango. Oh. Yeah. Just to remind you that we all have that one thing that keeps following us. It might not be the secular part, but we all need to deal with it.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so here's Soba right here on the Gospel Cruise. I hope you enjoyed it, Paul. It was for you. Kamsango.
Kamsango at waka kesakareka.
It's amazing to hear you speak Nyanja. I didn't even think you knew Nyanja.
All right, I actually speak very deep Chewa.
Not Bemba though.
No, that's monkey language.
But I think it's, you know, like what Soba was saying in that song, it's very important that you know what it is that is taking you away from God, so that you can deal with it, whatever it is. And somebody, the moment you deny that there's nothing, is the beginning of problems. That's true. You know, so
that's true.
Yeah, I applaud your honesty, man, because there are very few people who just be honest and say, okay, this and this, and now I'm this. So it's beautiful. So where you are now, we've gone through the Philappa stage, the born and bred, the secular, and now you're calling yourself Prophet Malachi.
Yes, yes.
Tell us about that.
I was called Starn. Starn was a name given to me by my grandfather. And as you may know, there are spiritual implications behind every name. So there are certain trains that were following me, exactly that my grandfather went through. So I don't think I really liked them. So I had to change that name. So before I changed, I had to pray and say, God, what is that name that you wanted me to have initially? And God told me one morning, he said, you are Malachi. Malachi means God's messenger. And guess what? When God spoke to me, I didn't know what Malachi meant. I had read the book of Malachi, but I really didn't go in details to see, oh, what does Malachi mean? So I went to find out what it means, and I found actually it meant what God told me in the morning. It meant God's messenger. So from that time, that's when I caught some men of God and officially changed the name. Okay. So that's what happened. Okay,
and then the prophet part?
Prophet is because that's who I've been.
I ask that because there's a lot of controversy with
around
the term
prophets yes.
nowadays.
Yeah.
Well, not that it's a bad thing, but because people need to test the spirit and be sure that, okay, this is what is happening.
Yes, yes. And you know, talking about testing, only the tested can test. Because a teacher that is giving you a test, he himself has been tested in the university. So we need to also be mature enough to be able to know how to test the spirit. So I am a prophet because I was trained as a prophet actually by Apostle Robert Bwalyanindola in 2005. So all this time that I've been doing music, it is one way of running away from the calling. So that's why, you know, like I'm being honest. So, you know, I've been running away. And finally, I decided to say, no, let me answer the calling that God has for me. So I was trained as a prophet in 2005 by Apostle Robert Bwalyanindola. And from that time, I came to Lusaka to pursue my music career and also be at UNZA. And I got lost in the way, but eventually got back to my calling. So being a prophet it's my calling. There are fivefold ministries: apostle, prophet, evangelist, pastors, and teachers. I fall in the prophetic. Okay. That's why I fall. Amazing.
You've got a new song?
Yes.
What is it called?
It is called Breakthrough. Breakthrough is a song that I wrote because I looked at my life and fought so many battles, and I felt like a David. You know, David fought so many battles that he never lived to enjoy his breakthrough. So I felt like this time it is time for me to actually announce the breakthrough for somebody that has been struggling, somebody that has been sick, somebody that has been looking for a job and they can't find it. I'm just there to say, you know, I can see your breakthrough. Amen. It's a prophetic song.
Okay, beautiful. Let's get to it.
Let's hear it. Yeah, I can see a breakthrough. I can see a breakthrough. Imagine having your controller. Akuchoza kulibonsa vampola. Beba maone kachabe ukafola. Vamusheve umakamba vamatiola. Yeah. That could be your reality. That could be your reality now. God can really fight for you. Baduganiza pamavu. Nigumonoli mwana wanshiwa. You seem to have nobody just to come through. Yeah. Resistance chabendieki. Mina know that just strong and you feel it. Yeah. Ukulu adirila kwachila bane. Can I prophesy? Can I prophesy? Can I? Listen, I can see a breakthrough. 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 Listen. Uma ukina muma chanku. Satana mabwelo menya mabanku. Some of you maugila machanku. But you won't really can't you? Cause in you I can see a Samson na chunsu. Wayamba koneka chimadumbo ngagusu. Chimenye pamaso. Imamvela mushe inevaso. Imamvela monga chilimuhaso. Listen. You are winning. You are winning. You are fighting but never ever losing. Never losing. You are more than a conqueror. You are winning. You are winning. You are fighting but never ever losing. Never losing. Oh, ukulu adilila kwachila bane. Can I prophesy? Nangufaye nchitota imonekana kalya iyo. Washimpa munshi kunefida mbachini ni mayo. umutima uletisha kachetekele polibili mayo mayo. 'Cause I can see a breakthrough. 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 Now listen. Imagine God being your controller. Akuchosa kulibonsa bampola. Beba maone kachabe ukafola. Vamusheve umakamba bamatiola. Yeah. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Prophet Malachi here. We love you so much. Yeah.
Awesome song, man. Awesome song.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
Thank you.
Before we close the interview,
yes.
You're a newlywed, eh?
Oh, yes.
You forgot.
No, I can't forget that.
All right, so I want you to look into that camera and say something to your lovely wife. What's your message to her?
Hey, the most understanding woman of all time, Taraji Chimunyangandu. I love you so much, baby, and I know you're watching. I'm coming for you.
Why don't you tell her you love her in local language? In local language.
In my local language? I don't know how to say that in Namwanga, though. No. Nalikutemwa.
A prophet.
You know, we need to search.
Local swag.
You need to search, like, no, which one is that? So, yeah, you know, I really appreciate my wife. I think even to come here and, you know, leave the church in her hands and she's running the ministry, it's amazing.
Awesome stuff.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much for coming through, bro.
Thank you so much.
I
really appreciate you.
Okay, beautiful. Paul as well. Thank you. Yeah, you look deep in thought. What's up?
And then I'm still, I mean, his song is still ringing in my head. So.
Which one? He sang two.
The last one.
The breakthrough.
Yeah, the breakthrough one.
You want
talk about
breakthrough?
Can
you prophesy like?
Of course, he already knows my number, so.
So even if I tell you, it won't surprise you.
Starn, you wanna prophesy?
Like I see P.
Whatever that is. But hey, thank you so much, guys, for coming through. You're awesome.
Thank you so much, Antonio. We love you so much.
All right, beautiful. So let's get to Pastor Frint right about now, and he's talking about how God is holy.